a donkey. Donkey, donkey. What a nice donkey you are. Oh, hello there. Welcome to Grandma Kitty's house. And I am Grandma Kitty, of course. I was just admiring my donkey friend here. Isn't he cute? He is just so cute. I was just noticing how donkeys kind of sound like they say their name. Other animals are not like that. Like cows say moo, and that doesn't sound like cow, and horses say neigh, and that doesn't sound like horse, and pigs say oink or whatever they say, but it doesn't sound like their name, and dogs go woof and cats go meow, and they don't sound like dog or cat, but donkey, he goes donkey, donkey. He kind of sounds like he's saying his own name, doesn't he? Well, you know, I just love donkeys, and I found this book that I thought was fun and thought I would come read it to you today. So I'm just going to set my little donkey friend right there, and hopefully he stands up. Let's see what we have here. Oh, this is called The Wonky Donkey, and this is really a very silly book, so I'm going to read it to you. It's by Craig Smith. Okay, so let's read this book together. It's very silly. If you want to laugh, that's okay, you can. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! And he only had 3 legs. He was a wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs and 1 eye. He was a winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye, and he liked to listen to country music. Yee-haw! He was a honky-tonky, winky-wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music, and he was quite tall and slim. He was a lanky, honky-tonky, winky-wonky donkey. He's a funny donkey, isn't he? I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim, and he smelled really, really bad. He was a stinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky-wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite slim and tall. He smelled really, really bad. And that morning he got up early and hadn't had any coffee. He was a cranky, stinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky-wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelled really, really bad. That morning he got up early and hadn't had any coffee, and he was always getting into mischief. He was a hanky-panky, cranky, stinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky-wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelled really, really bad. That morning he got up early and hadn't had any coffee. He was always getting up to mischief, but he was quite good looking. He was a spunky, hanky-panky, cranky, stinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky-wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! The end. Isn't that a funny book? That is just silly, isn't it? So I thought today we could do some donkey talk. Oh no, we're not going to talk like donkeys. We're not going to bray like donkeys. That's what donkeys do when they talk. It's called braying. It's really like hee-haw, but they call it braying. But no, we're going to talk about donkey terms. Do you know what terms are? They're just words. Terms are just words. So we're going to talk about donkey words, words that relate to donkeys, okay? So, let's see what we have here. All right, so our first word is burrow. Do you know what burrow means? It means donkey. It's just the Spanish word for donkey. So let me show you. There's different parts of the country that call them donkeys, and some parts of the country call them burros. So let me show you my map here. This is a map of the United States. Can you see it? There's this river right here. And it goes all the way from the top of the United States all the way down to the bottom, and it's called the Mississippi River. So everybody on this side, which is the west side of the Mississippi, calls them burros. Everybody on the east side, which is this side of the Mississippi, calls them donkeys. So burro just means donkey. It's just the Spanish word for donkey. All right, so that's our first word. All right, so this is our next word, jack. Do you know what a jack is? A jack is a male donkey. So we have Jack, kind of like Jack and Jill, but a Jack is a male donkey. Do you know what a female donkey is? A female donkey is a Jenny. So instead of Jack and Jill, we have Jack and Jenny. Male donkey, female donkey. All right, and now it gets a little bit confusing because they can crossbreed donkeys and with horses, and it produces a different kind of animal. What was that? Why crossbreed them? Well, I'll tell you. If you crossbreed a male donkey, which is a jack, with a female horse, you get a mule. And mules are said to be more patient. That means that they don't get upset quite so easily. And they're said to be hardy, which means they're a little stronger, a little sturdier. They live longer than horses. They're less obstinate, and they're more intelligent. Obstinate? Do you know what obstinate means? Obstinate means to be ornery or stubborn. Donkeys are quite stubborn animals. They won't do things they don't want to do. Have you ever been stubborn like that? Like when mom tells you to clean your room or do something you don't want to do, maybe you're a little stubborn like a donkey? Well, when donkeys don't want to do something, they put their brakes on, and you can't pull them, you can't push them, they're just not going to move. They're going to stay right there because, oh dear, my donkey tipped over, because they are stubborn animals. Do you know why donkeys are stubborn? Well, they say that donkeys don't like to do anything that is they feel might be dangerous or that they're not familiar with. So, like if you wanted to take a donkey for a walk and the donkey didn't know you, you might have a hard time getting him to walk because he's not familiar with you and you're a stranger to him. So they say that donkeys just don't like to do anything they are unfamiliar or feel like they might be dangerous. So they just put their brakes on and they just refuse to move. So when your mother says you're being as stubborn as a donkey, well, now you know what she means. All right, so let's see. So then if you cross a female donkey with a male horse, you get a henny. So we've got a Jack and a Jenny, a mule, and a henny. All right, I might give you a little test on this. So let me repeat that for you. When you cross a Jack, which is a male donkey, with a female horse, you get a mule. When you cross a Jenny, a female donkey, with a male horse, you get a henny. Who cares? Is that what you said? Who cares? Well, it must matter to somebody or they wouldn't do it, right? This is supposed to be a learning experience. So let's have fun and learn together. Learning can be fun. Grandma Kitty loves to learn, but you know what? At my age, I forget as quickly as I learn. So I can learn the same thing over and over again because I keep forgetting it and I think it's something new. You'll find out when you get to be my age. All right, this is a donkey term that'll make you smile. This is foal. Do you know what a foal is? A foal is a baby donkey, but a foal can also be a baby horse as well. It doesn't pertain just to donkeys. Now this one is this is actually 3 words. Really fun words. We've got zebroid, zonkey, and zedonk. What do you think that means? That's what you would get when you cross a donkey with a zebra. I don't know why you want to cross a donkey with a zebra, but it makes some pretty funny words, doesn't it? Okay, so let's do our review now. I have my board here, okay? And let's see how you do. So, do you remember what was the male donkey called? Very good. The male donkey is the Jack. All right. Okay. What's the female donkey? Very good. The female donkey is the Jenny. All right. Now, do you remember? Here's the tricky one. When you cross the male donkey with the female horse, what did you get? Mule or hinny? Mule is right. You get the mule when you cross. And mules are strong because they talk about mule power. So mules are strong animals. How about the female donkey with the male horse? Anybody remember? That's the hinny. All right. Do you remember the Spanish word for donkey? Burro, right? So if you lived west of the Mississippi, you would call them a burro instead of a donkey. All right, now what if you get cross a donkey with a zebra? You're going to get, do you remember? Zebroid, zonkey, or z-donk. I think zonkey is a pretty funny word. I like that one. All right, and then a couple more that we have. I couldn't fit everything on my board, but remember the foal is the baby donkey. And then do you remember? Bray, that's the sound that the donkeys make. And then stubborn, right? So if someone says you're as stubborn as a donkey, you know now that you can't push or pull a donkey when they don't want to move, right? All right, so now you know all kinds of stuff about donkeys, right? All right, so let's do our move and groove. Do you remember our song from last week? We did Today is the Day. All right, and do you remember when you get up and move and groove, it makes your heart happy? So in this song, you get to stomp your feet. Grandma Kitty gives you permission to stomp your feet. So stand up and let's get ready to do our move and groove. All right. All right, here we go. All right.
Today is the day you have made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Today is the day you have made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And I won't worry about tomorrow. I'm trusting in what you say. Today is the day. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Today is the day you have made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Today is the day you have made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. And I won't worry about tomorrow. I'm trusting in what you say. Today is the day. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh.
Hey, this is where you get to stomp your feet. Ready?
I know you feel the beat, so clap your hands and stomp your feet. I know you feel the beat, so clap your hands and stomp your feet. Here we go now, here we go now, here we go now. Here we go now, here we go now, here we go now. I know you feel the beat, so clap your hands and stomp your feet. I know you feel the beat, so clap your hands and stomp your feet. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Today is the day you have made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Today is the day you have made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Today is the day you have made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Today is the day you have made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And I won't worry about tomorrow. I'm trusting in what you say. Today is the day. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 today is the day.
How'd you do? Did you get up and move and groove? Did you stomp your feet when I gave you permission? So remember that moving and grooving makes our hearts happy. Our heart just loves it when we get up and move and groove. All right, so, oh, let me find my bee basket here. Let's see what we have in the bee basket. And remember, our bee basket is things that we want to be. All right, so let's see. Oh, look, it's still be silly. Do you remember we talked last week about being silly? And do you remember that there are rules to being silly? Do you remember what they were? I brought my poster just in case you forgot. So here are the rules to being silly. Remember, no hurting people. So that means no hurting their feelings or their physical body. So you don't want to call somebody a name because you think that would be silly and hurt their feelings. So you don't want to throw a ball at somebody because you think it would be silly and hurt their body. So silly can't hurt people, and no damaging property. So like you don't want to, throw a ball at the house because you think it's silly and it hits the window or something. You don't want that to happen. So to be silly, you can't hurt people and you can't hurt property, because then it's not silly anymore. Then it's mean or destructive, and you don't want to be mean or destructive. All right, so Grandma Kitty brought some fun things we can do here, jokes, and this is called Awesome Good Clean Jokes for Kids, and it's by Bob Phillips. And see, silly is just good, clean fun, like this. So let me read some jokes to you. These are pretty funny jokes. All right. So, what did the dog say when he sat on the sandpaper? Ruff, ruff. I bet you probably could have guessed that one, huh? All right. Let's see what this one is. Why don't robots panic? Because they have nerves of steel. Isn't that funny? I think this one. Oh, this one. I really like this one. This one says, what happens when an owl has laryngitis? He doesn't give a hoot. Is that one funny? All right, let's see. Oh, what do you write on a robot's gravestone? Rust in peace. All right, let's see here. This one says, oh, now this is a teacher talking to the student, and she says, I have had to punish you every day this week. What have you got to say? And you know what the student said? I'm glad it's Friday. That's pretty funny. All right. Oh, this one's really funny too. This one is two men talking. They're Eli and Wade. And Eli says, I haven't spoken to my wife in 2 weeks. And Wade says, how come? And Eli says, because I don't like to interrupt her. Now there's someone that likes to talk more than Grandma Kitty does. All right, what do you get when you cross poison ivy and a 4-leaf clover? A rash of good luck. Oh, I could use a rash of good luck, huh? How about you? Not that I want that kind of rash. All right, let's see here. Oh, how do you keep a dog from barking in the back of the car? Put him in the front seat. Let's see. Oh, I like this one too. What do people do that work in a clock factory? They make faces all day. I think that one's pretty funny. Oh, what do you think children feel as a well-balanced meal? A hamburger in each hand. Now, if you're talking about my grandchildren, it would be a chicken nugget in each hand. Oh, now since we're talking about donkeys today, this is a donkey one. There is a donkey on one side of a deep river and a bundle of hay on the other side. How can the donkey get the hay? There is no bridge and he cannot swim. Do you give up? So did the donkey. I love this. Oh, did you hear about the absent-minded professor? You know what he did? He returned from lunch and saw a sign on the door that says back in 30 minutes, so he sat down and waited for himself. Oh, where does imitation leather come from? From imitation cows. And where do cars get the most flat tires? Where there is a fork in the road. These are funny jokes, aren't they? Oh, this one's really funny too. I like this one. This is two boys talking. One is named Jeremy and one is named Jerome. So Jeremy says, your overalls are all wet. And Jerome says, I know, I just washed them. Jeremy said, then why are you wearing them? And Jerome says, because the label says wash and wear. I think that he probably should have dried them out first. Huh? All right, and this is the last one. Where's the best place to look for a helping hand? at the end of your arm. Aren't those funny? I just love it. So that's Awesome Good Clean Jokes for Kids by Bob Phillips, and he's got a lot of good ones in there. Maybe I'll share some more with you some other time. All right, so, oh, and one other thing I wanted to show you, we're talking about being silly, and this is something that, and donkeys. We're talking about being silly and donkeys. And this is a silly game that you can play. It's pin the tail on the donkey. A lot of kids do this for their birthday parties. And so what you do, the tail has to go, of course, on the back of the donkey. But you don't just put it there. You have to put a blindfold on. And then they spin you around. And then you have to try to put the donkey's tail on when you can't see and you don't really know where you're going. So sometimes it ends up on his ear or his nose, or it might end up on his chest or a belly, but this is where you want it to be. And whoever gets it there the closest is the winner. And some people play for prizes, but I think sometimes it's fun just to play for fun and not have to worry about prizes, so that prizes make one person feel bad, but then everybody else feels left out. So sometimes it's fun just to play for the fun of it, just to be silly. All right, so let's check our other B signs. So remember to believe in yourself. Remember that you've got talents and abilities and all this good stuff inside of yourself. So you got to let that good come out and figure out how to use your talent and your abilities and make the world a better place. And then if you believe in yourself and do the best, you'll be the best you that you can be. And remember what Grandma Kitty always says? You'll never get in trouble for being good, right? You'll never get sent to your room or timeout or punished for being good, right? So did you learn a lot of new things about donkeys, new terms, donkey terms, a jack, a jenny, a mule, and a hinny, and a burro, and a zebroid, a zonkey, and a z-donk? Those are all funny words, aren't they? Huh? So we learned a lot about donkeys today. Now, I wanted to leave you with one more joke before we go. And this, I can't tell you who wrote this joke. This is actually a song. It's called The Offering Song, and I can't tell you who wrote it because I don't think anyone really knows, but I can tell you who sings it. There's a man named Jim Cole, and he sounds a lot like James Taylor when he sings, but he sings this song, and this is really a funny song. So I heard this and I thought, oh, I've got to share this with you because it's really funny. So here we go. This is how the song goes. It says, a man said to God, what's 1,000,000 years to you? And God said, a second. All right, so listen carefully so you don't miss the punchline, because if you miss the punchline, you miss the whole thing. The punchline is what makes the joke funny. So the man said to God, what's 1,000,000 years to you? And God said, a second. And the man said to God, what's $1,000,000 to? And God said, a penny. So the man said to God, will you give me a penny? And God said, sure, you'll just have to wait a second. Isn't that funny? I think that is just so funny. Oh, so that's also just good, clean fun, and that's what silly is all about, just having good, clean fun. All right, so I think that just about does it for me today. So you take care, you stay safe and healthy, be happy, be silly, and find a donkey to love. I just love this little donkey. All right, you take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.